Hi guys, welcome back to Wayno Reacts. I'm Wayno, and today we're going to be counting down the 8 reasons I think HBO's upcoming The Last of Us series will be awesome. That's right guys, HBO is adapting the hugely popular game The Last of Us into a series, and I have thoughts. Now I have no doubt some of my 8 reasons why HBO's The Last of Us will be awesome will surprise you. You might even disagree with a few of those reasons, but make sure you stick around until the end of this video to find out the number 1 reason I think HBO's Last of Us series is going to be great. So let's jump right into my list at number 8, and that's the fans. I know what you're thinking. Why would the fans be last on the list? They're the entire reason The Last of Us is popular at all. And I get that, but let me break it down for you a little bit. While the fans are the reason The Last of Us has seen so much success, there's also a lot of backlash from the fans based on different creative decisions the makers of the game have made over the course of the first and second game. And while some of the backlash is kind of understandable, some of it is kind of crazy. And even long before the HBO series was ever announced, the ending of the first Last of Us game was debatably pretty divisive. Some fans didn't like the cliffhanger ending, and others love the creative decision. I myself wouldn't have it any other way. I thought it was an amazing way to end the game, and it really hit me right here. I loved it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Did you like the ending of the first game, or were you in the camp that wished you would have got a little bit more closure? Let me know what you think down below. So in addition to that, we all know The Last of Us Part 2 was an extremely divisive title. Obviously, such a huge fan base grew with the first Last of Us game, and they set a lot of expectations for the second game. And when the second game came out and deviated from those expectations or introduced new concepts to the game, fans weren't exactly receptive of that.
Yeah, come at me, bro!
One choice in particular, they had very strong opinions on a choice made early in the game that affected the rest of the series from here on out. So understandably, there was some backlash there, but it's also the decision of the creative team at Naughty Dog to guide the game in a way that they feel like serves the story best. And I think taking that into account is really important, especially moving into the series, because there will be deviations from the story in the game, and that's okay. I'm open to a new perspective. While it goes without saying, obviously fans are the reason the franchise has flourished and become as popular as it is. I think it's pretty obvious that sometimes fans can kind of go overboard with the hate and the opinions on what should have happened or what direction the creative team should have taken with these characters. And that's just a testament to how loved the game is and how devoted the fan base is. So the fan base is kind of a double-edged sword, and that's why they're at number 8 on my list. Alright, coming in at number 7 on my list of reasons the HBO's upcoming The Last of Us series is going to be amazing is the promotion. The promotion so far, this hasn't been handled like your typical series. This has been handled like a Marvel movie. We just seen The Last of Us cast completely unite at CCXP, which is Brazil's Comic-Con, which is enormously popular. We've gotten a teaser trailer. We've gotten character posters. We've gotten 2 series posters, and we've also gotten a full-length trailer. And we still have time before the series releases. We may get another trailer or more promotional material. HBO is not holding back on promoting this, and I think for good reason, because they know how large of a fan base is out there. But I think they also know that outside of that fan base, The Last of Us series is good enough, and the story is good enough to really stand on its 2 legs for those that aren't familiar with the games. All they have to do is get it in front of their audience and let them know it's coming. And they're doing a great job of getting it out there. Moving on to number 7 on my list is the budget. The budget HBO can afford to give their series is enormous. Like, we've seen Game of Thrones at $15 million per episode, and the word on the street is that The Last of Us comes in at around $10 million, maybe just over. which is amazing because if you look at all the visual effects in Game of Thrones, a large portion of that series is visual effects, and they also traveled to a lot of the destinations featured in the series, which would account for an enormous amount of that budget. And if we stop and look at The Last of Us, we don't have particularly exotic destinations on the level of Game of Thrones, and we also don't have dragons. So the money invested into this series can really go to areas that will affect the series in the most positive way, rather than just on digital and special effects. And the story is really grounded, and we also know that they're using a lot of practical effects, which I prefer to special effects, to computer generated effects. I would much rather Jim Henson make something amazing and put it on somebody and have them act it out physically than just have the actors reacting to something that's not there in front of a green screen, or an actor wearing a mocap suit or something like that. And we did get a glimpse of a bloater, and we've had a glimpse of a clicker. They both look absolutely amazing. I have no doubt that when The Last of Us needs to step up and provide those visual effects, they're going to be able to on that budget. But I think the majority of the series is going to be really grounded and in borderline mundane locations, just like the series was. But I look forward to that because that means they're going to focus on character development, which is what makes the series and the game so great in the first place. So I'm here for it. $10 million an episode. Can't wait. So coming in at number 5 on our list of the reasons why I think HBO's upcoming The Last of Us adaptation is going to be amazing is the game. And I know, how could the game be at number 5? The series is literally based on the game. Well, I kind of hinted at this earlier in the video. I really think this series will be able to stand on its own 2 legs and entertain and engross people that have never played the game, and maybe some that have literally no idea it's even an adaptation. I think the story is literally that good, and I think the reason the game hits where it does on my list is because the story in the game is the story that the series is pulling from. So the series has an advantage in that respect. It already has a proven successful story and they know the beats of the story and what it's going to be and how it's going to play out, and they already know that people will really engage with that story and connect with the main characters in an awesome way. And I don't think the TV viewing audience, the HBO audience, is going to be any different than the audience was that played the game. Of course, there's a bit more immersion when you're playing a game, but there's also a lot of immersion when you're sitting at home in the dark, just totally devoted and engrossed into your TV in a series that you're watching, that you're, completely invested in. There's a reason HBO is as huge as it is. They make great content, and I have every bit of faith in the world that the advantage of having a proven story to pull from and borderline create amazing adaptation content, but also new content around that and weaved through that original adaptive content. I think it's literally like, how can they fail, right? All right, guys, halfway through our list, my 4th reason is HBO. HBO is one of the leading creators of premium content literally on the planet. If you broke down the 50 best original series of all time in the last 10 years, HBO would be all over that list. We have so much iconic content that's come out of HBO. It's hard to dispute that they're a leader in the game. They know what they're doing. They invest in their properties. They create brand new IP, and millions and millions of people tune in to see it because the quality is there. If HBO puts their stamp on something, it's going to be great. for that particular audience. You know, nobody likes everything, but the quality will be there. The level of acting will be there. They're not churning out 19 movies a week like Netflix is. They look at their properties as investments, and they do invest millions and millions and millions of dollars in these properties. So when they choose to adapt something, it's not an overnight decision. It's not just a build up their category of films. It's something that they've thought through. It's an investment. It's something that they know more than likely will be successful and profitable for the company. So, and we can see that. We've seen that in the past. There's so many titles that are just hugely popular. And sometimes you have a look at them and you're like, wow, that's from HBO too? Oh man, that's from HBO too? Yeah. They know what they're doing over there. And they hire amazing creative directors and producers and cast members. And this isn't their first day. They've been doing this a very long time. So you can really trust when HBO takes something on that you're going to get the best possible version of that. So, I mean, I wouldn't have wanted any other company to have tried to adapt The Last of Us because I don't trust them the way I do HBO. So that's why HBO is number 4 on my list. All right, guys, we're getting close to that number 1. Number 3 is the cast. The cast for this series, I will tell you, HBO spared no expense. Pedro Pascal, who has just been on fire, man. He's been in so much great stuff over the past few years. He's really building his brand and building a name for himself. He's to the point to where he can pull people to the theaters if he's in something, or sway them to tune in if he's, The Mandalorian or anything else that he's in. He's a face now. Like, people recognize him. They go, oh, he's in it? Yeah, I want to see that. So, I mean, Pedro Pascal as the front man was an amazing choice. And I actually think Pedro's going to do a great job at Joe, just based on what I've seen in the trailers. But then on top of that, we have Bella Ramsey, who is building up her catalog as well. And while she may not be as recognizable as a face as Pedro Pascal is, she's been in some really great stuff as well. She was amazing in Game of Thrones. We know her acting chops are there, what she will need to play Ellie the way Ellie is in the game. She really has to give that character justice. She's debatably the star of the show. Maybe not so much in the first game. She's certainly a huge contributor, right? She is the supporting actor to the lead in the first game, and then we know where it goes from there. But then you continue to look at the list of actors in the cast, and they're all recognizable, high caliber actors. They didn't get a front man and a supporting actor that was recognizable, and then just try to save money on the budget with a lot of other supporting cast, the B list. They went all in. They got some really, really great talent for this series, and rightfully so, because the focus of the supporting actor, or sometimes maybe even the lead, shifts a little bit throughout the game, and you need high caliber actors that can hold their own in this series for it to be taken seriously and to be successful. And I think they've really succeeded at that. All right, guys, and number 2 on my list, we have Craig Mazin. Mazin is attached as a co-creator on the series, and we know Mazin from his previous project, Chernobyl, on HBO, which was absolutely incredible. Critically acclaimed. The fan reviews were just as high. It was just an amazing series, and there are a lot of striking similarities between Chernobyl and what we can expect from the Last of Us series. A very dark, gritty, kind of character-driven project. And he is really just a shoe-in. He's the perfect fit for this. We've seen what he's capable of with Chernobyl, and I have no doubt that he's going to bring some of that into this project, but also be flexible as a co-creator, because this is an adaptation. It's not his own creation, right? So we know he's talented. We know what he can bring to the table, and it is at the top level. So, Having Craig Mazin on is such a gift, and I can't wait to see what he does with the series. Alright guys, I want to thank you for sticking around to the end of the video to find out what my number one reason I think The Last of Us is going to be amazing is. And of course, it has to be creator Neil Druckmann. This guy is so talented. He's amazing. He's the creator of the Last of Us franchise. He was creative director on all of the games, including the original Last of Us, the remastered version, the Left Behind DLC pack, The Last of Us Part 2, and he actually co-wrote the Last of Us American Dream graphic novels. If there's anyone that can ensure we get a truthful adaptation, it's Neil Druckmann. Neil is amazingly talented, as we know. He's now co-president of Naughty Dog. And regarding the Last of Us series, Druckmann said, some of the show's scripts borrow dialogue directly from the game, while others deviate greatly. So some of the game's action-heavy tutorial scenes will be changed to focus more on the show's character drama. Which makes sense. It is an adaptation for a reason. You can't expect the audience to stand there and watch your lead characters run around and jump over stuff and kind of make their way to the next action sequence or character sequence. We have to fill those gaps somehow. So Druckmann really understands how something needs to be adapted from one medium to the next. Now, in addition, Druckmann said that the series was taking the opposite approach to the adaptation of the Uncharted film. While Uncharted tells a new story with moments from the games to give it an Uncharted flavor, The Last of Us is a direct adaptation with minor deviations, allowing alterations such as changing character perspectives in a manner unachievable in an immersive game. The guy knows what he's talking about. If you don't have faith in Neil Druckmann, who could do it better? Right? He's proven himself. The games are literally amazing. That's why they have the fan base they do. And I really think the series with him attached can't fail. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think my list was on point? Do you think I was way off? Did I miss anything? Was my list just kind of out of order a little bit as far as you're concerned? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I appreciate you guys watching so much. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more videos. And as always, I'll catch you back here for more reaction action.